Okay, I'm here, this man, your disability rep, Roy Rickstrew, and good to see you, Roy.
Likewise.
We are going to cover, this is like going to be, Disability Rep 101, the top 5 questions that you're asked all the time.
Yeah, and this is kind of a recap. We've covered a lot of these things before.
Yeah.
But let's jump right in. So
All right.
the first question I get is, do I file for SSI or do I file for disability? And the question is easy to answer. If you have a work history, a lot of work history through the years, then likely you're insured and you can qualify for disability. If you haven't had a chance to have a lot of work history, likely you're uninsured and you have to file for SSI. The reason we say that sometimes you can qualify for both is the first 5 months you're disabled under the Social Security Disability Program, they don't pay you. And so a lot of times you can file SSI at the same time and get paid for those first 5 months until your disability kicks in.
Okay,
So you
and
can't
then
file for both.
will one override the other then?
That's correct.
You can't double dip. in other words.
Most of the time, people's disability amount is high enough that it kicks them out of SSI.
Yeah.
Some people, that's not the case, and they do draw both.
Okay, all right, so that's why you find a gentleman like this right away. Okay, which condition should I list?
Yeah, this is a common question too. A lot of people have 5 or 6 things going on. They want to know, which one do I pick? Which one do I make primary? The reality is that Social Security evaluates limitations of all of our conditions from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet, including cognitive limitations.
Okay.
And they determine how much of an impact they have on worker functions. Lift, carry, understand, remember, those type of things.
Function in a job
Things that are
situation.
common to all jobs.
Right, okay.
How do they decide if you're qualified? Well, kind of like we just talked about. They assign limitations to each of your conditions, and they say he's limited in his ability to walk. They determine what your residual functioning capacity, the most you can do despite all of your conditions piled together, and they simply compare that to what employers require of us at a minimum. And so if you can meet those minimum standards of what employers ask of us, then you're not disabled. If you can't, then likely you are.
All right, and who is it who determines that? Because how I feel may not be how you think I feel.
Right, and Social Security program itself is kind of a blending of the federal and the state. And
Okay.
so the federal program sends your medical records or sends your case over to disability determinations, a state agency that obtains medical records and makes the medical decision. In fact, it's part of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even, have been my last guess probably.
I've always wondered if it was because that department is well funded,
Okay.
despite budget cuts, and they keep things going.
Very possible. All right, what's your next one?
Yeah, the doctor says I'm qualified, but Social Security still denies me what gives. And this comes up quite often. One thing that's real important to remember is the decision about whether or not you are disabled is reserved to the commissioner of the Social Security program.
Okay.
Your doctor can't say, I'm disabled, he can't work. Social Security doesn't care because that's their decision to ultimately make. And so if there's inconsistencies in the medical records, if the doctor reports normal findings but is giving some horrible outlook in a letter, for example, Social Security is skeptical of those things. It all has to balance out.
Okay.
And then finally,
Yeah, we've got about 30 seconds. What do we have here?
how it is that we can help. Well, obviously, a representative can help to file complicated documents, make sure that timeframes are met. We can do a comprehensive review of your medical records to make sure that your reported conditions are making appearance in what the doctor's recording as well. And of course, we can put in arguments to the judge, and we can help keep the process moving. Anytime we can speed things along, we jump in and try to hurry it up.
All right, when I hear these questions and your answers there, this is why you need to find your disability rep. Of course, the QR code is here, and people can get in touch with you, give you a call.
They can give me a call. If you click on the QR code, there's an option there to make an appointment directly with me, get you directly on my calendar.
There, pretty simple. Roy, always good to see you.
Likewise, Tom.
Back to you.
Thank you so much, Tom.